Welcome back to my second video on managing toxic bosses and managing upwards. Today I'm going to talk to you about the toxic boss that micromanages everything that you do. How do you approach it? Well, one thing that you might want to try to do is try to understand exactly what's driving it. Sometimes it's just a lack of trust, okay? The pressure that the boss is working under, or previous mistakes that have been made by people who are doing the work that you've done. Maybe this boss doesn't really know you too well, okay? And they are just micromanaging the way they have always micromanaged. So, what can you do differently? Well, you can maybe try and give them a little bit more visibility on the work that you're doing. And one thing I would suggest you do is you provide some updates on the work that you're doing or the project, okay, before they have to ask, so that that reduces some of the tension. Sit down when you're talking to them if you get the opportunity and agree some boundaries. Talk about what decisions that you can make independently on the work that you can do and what decisions need to be run through the boss. What result would they like to achieve from the work that you're doing? If you can show that you really, really, really understand the importance of the work, then this boss might be able to trust you more in the work that you're doing. That will build the trust gradually and demonstrate how reliable you are in the work that you do. However, depending on the toxic boss and the personality that you're dealing with, it may be hard to sit down to have a calm conversation where you can explain that the excessive checking and micromanaging can slow you down, reduce your confidence, and have fear and anxiety of mistakes in the work that otherwise may never happen. But don't turn it into a power struggle, because the chances are with some of these toxic bosses, that's not a struggle that you're going to win. The answer about micromanaging is not always about confrontation. Sometimes it's about building trust, showing your ability, and they begin to feel that they no longer feel the need to control everything. Unfortunately, that's not always the case, and it depends on how toxic the toxic boss is. But those few tips will give you an idea of how to manage upwards if you identify that you are dealing with a toxic boss. And continue to please watch my videos in this series of managing upwards and toxic bosses.